Just letting our last peoples in. We're just about to tick over to the top of the hour. Welcome, welcome. Lovely, lovely. So welcome everybody as we tick over to the top of the hour. Welcome to this Beltane bee-el-tanna workshop. This is just a really nice way that we found over the years of kind of celebrating the turn of the wheel of the year, the change of the seasons. There are many different names for this lovely little threshold point between the 30th and the 1st. You might know it as the Celtic Bealtaine. The anglicized version is Beltane. That's another word we hear quite a lot. You also might know it as May Day. In Germany, it's Walpurgisnacht, which is the night we've just passed through, is the night when all the witches are abound, when they dance and feast on mountaintops. So it's really a kind of a threshold point where all things are changing and there's spirits abound, whether those spirits are the fairies, the witches, the goddesses. They're all about on this threshold point of the seasons. But for us as yogis, this brightening light can be a real invitation to start to warm and rise, and we reawaken the body. So that's the theme that we'll take for our physical movement practice. And if you've come to these workshops before, you'll know that we'll do about half the class will be physical movement, and then half will be a guided meditation. And as always, we'll take it nice and restful. So this is really to move at your own pace. So we're reawakening, but we want to do it in a nice, gentle, easeful, luxurious kind of way. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Fenella. So what we'll do is we're going to start just in an easy seat, nice and simple. And you can sit on cushions, on blankets, whatever's going to feel most comfortable for you to be in this position. And then from here, we're just going to settle. So if you want to have a little wiggle, if you want to roll the shoulders, feel free just to find your place upon the earth, to feel nice and settled, nice and grounded. Lovely. Imagining almost that we're like a tree, a great tree beginning to blossom now in May. So our roots are running into the earth. We've got that nice grounding to the ground. But from here, we're rising tall through our tree trunks. So we're gently lifting through our center, and then our branches, our little flower buds are shining up towards the sky. From here, if it's comfortable, we'll just gently close the eyes. You can rest the hands wherever you like. And we'll just begin with some nice easeful breaths. So this might be some nice deep breaths. You might want to take a few sigh exhales, just to let go of any busyness from our week, any stresses or weight that you felt upon your shoulders. Hey, little friends, a few mini yogis. Anything we felt during the week that we just like to put aside for a little while. The practice of yoga is, in a way, its own little liminal space where we take a little step back from the noises of the world and take pause, maybe to reflect, maybe just to take a rest or a break. So as we cross over this seasonal barrier, we are stepping into the season of spring and summer, and there is this lightness to be found ahead of us. It can be a lovely time just to take a pause in our practice, whatever that is. We'll just breathe and settle here as I just read a little section of the book about the changing seasonal energies. This is the time of the in-between, and it has its own unique energy and significance. It can be honored and acknowledged in ritual, spell work, in yoga practice. We can nurture our creative spirit during each of the seasons, and we can encourage our inner creatrix, our inner witch, our inner yogi. After all, each of these energies live within us, just as the changing energies of the seasons do. So this is a time of change, perhaps a pause. If we are in the northern hemisphere, this is Beltane. If you're in the southern hemisphere, this is Samhain. Both points of threshold. And both invitations to pause, to reflect, to unravel, to unfurl. To find a seasonal energy is not just one thing, it can be whatever we need it to be. And it might be we are drawing on inspiration from the land that we're in and on, so the season and the weather that is around us. Maybe our native deities. If we're in the northern hemisphere, this might be the beautiful fiery goddesses, the Celtic goddesses, Anya and Bridget. Maybe Maeve, the warrior goddess of the earth. If you're in the southern hemisphere, those fiery goddesses might take the form of Hawaiian goddess Pele, the goddess of volcanoes, eruptions, fierce passion. These are little inspirations we can draw on, whether it's the season, whether it's the festivals, whether it's the deities. Maybe it's just taking a break and enjoying a little sunshine. So from our restful place, if the eyes are closed, we'll gently open them. Lovely. We're just going to take a little twist here. So what we'll do is I'll mirror you. We'll take the right hand on the outside of left knee. Left hand's going to go on the earth behind you. With that lovely tall spine, I'm just going to rotate the heart to the shoulders and the gaze round to the side of the room. Lovely. A few slow and steady breaths. That idea of reawakening, but taking our time doing it. So we're not in any rush. Lovely. From here, let's gently unravel. We'll take it around to the other side. And then as we unravel back to center, we're going to come to a forward fold over the cross legs. So we're just going to hinge at our hips. We'll place the hands in front of us and we'll just walk or slide the hands and let the head hang heavy. Give yourself a little time here. If you have any knee or ankle issues, then please feel free to extend the legs out in front of you and you can fold over straight legs. If you need just a little extra softness underneath the feet, you can bring a cushion or a blanket in. So just take your time to get comfortable here, as I just like to settle into this one for a few moments. And we can let the head hang heavy. Beautiful. Just take a few easeful breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to gently rise through head and heart. So we're coming back to upright. Now we're going to do a wide leg fold here. As always, take it just as far as is comfortable for you. So your wide legs can be as gentle as you like. If you find this very challenging, then take a nice deep softness in the knees and have the soles of the feet on the floor. It just makes it a little more supportive and easeful. So whatever wide legs works for us. Once again, nice and tall in the spine. We're going to bring the hands to the earth and we'll just walk them forward gently. And it might be this is just a little tilt forwards for us today. That's absolutely fine. And we can let the head hang heavy. If you're doing the super soft knees, then we can rest the elbows on the knees if we like and let the head come forwards, or we can have the hands in front. Again, this is your practice. This is your ritual to unravel, so there is no pressure to do anything. There's no competition to meet up with anybody else, or even that our practice compares to our practice of this time last year. We're just letting our body be and find its way right now. And then once again, when you feel ready, we'll gently rise through head and heart. So we're coming back to upright. Beautiful. So from here, what we'll do, we'll scoop the knees in. We're just going to journey to a tabletop position for a moment. And we're just going to do a couple of cat-cow movements here. On the inhale, we flex the spine in, tailbone and crown shine to the sky. On the exhale, we flex the spine out, tailbone and crown shine to the earth. And then we're just using the breath. So each inhale, we're getting the flexion in, and each exhale, out. Beautiful. Those of you who practice with me regularly know I probably do this little sequence in every single class that I teach. Not only because it's a nice way to warm up the spine, and me having the spine that I do, I need to give it lots of flexion, lots of movement to stop it seizing up. But also it's that idea of moving with the breath to find our rhythm. If there is one thing that we can take away from any yoga practice, it is to move at our own pace, excuse me, to move at our own rhythm. Lovely. We're going to do one more flexion inwards with the inhale, one more lovely flexion outwards with the exhale, and then when you're ready, I'm just going to come back to neutral. So we're just coming back to the tabletop. Lovely. So from here, we're going to come up to a high kneeling position. If you need to get some cushions or something soft under the knees to feel comfortable here, take your time to do that. So anything that's going to help support the knees. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take I'll mirror you again, we'll take the left leg out at a right angle from the body. So from the side, looks like that. Beautiful. And then we'll just rest the hand on the leg. So we've got the left leg out and the hand resting on it. My foot's flat on the ground if that's comfortable for you. If you want to take a little variation, like having this just a heel on the ground, you can do so if you feel steady there. And then we're going to do a little side stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to sweep the right arm high. And then we're just going to gently slide the hand down the leg as we come into this little beam pose. I tell this story every time, but I'm afraid you're going to get it again. So when I first heard this This pose was called beam pose. When I first started practicing yoga when I was about 7, I had in my head that it meant sunbeam. So we were like a sunbeam shining, and I carried that definition through into my adult life. It was only quite recently I found out this was beam as in a beam of wood on top of a gate, which is not half as romantic as sunbeam. So maybe I'll just pretend it still means sunbeam like I thought it did when I was 7. From here, what we'll do, we're going to rise up through the body and take the arms wide. So we've got to engage the core just a little to rise us up. And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to take the right hand and we're going to bring it to the earth. Sweep the left hand so it rests somewhere by the ear, as if you're trying to kind of sweep the hand past the ear. Beautiful. So we've gone from beam pose and my little story about sunbeams into a lovely side plank, where we're getting this gentle extension. You might feel the stretch in the hip or the side body. Easeful breaths. If this feels too much on anyone's shoulders, if you're working with injuries here, you can always just kind of rest the hand on the body. You can take away that top arm completely if you wish. Lovely. So we've got to engage the core again here a little as we rise up once more. We're going to have the arms wide. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to bring in the breath a little. We're just going to move gently, and you can rest when you want to. So upright, we're going to take a nice inhale, and then exhale, sunbeam. Beautiful. Inhale to rise. Exhale to the side plank. Beautiful. And then we're just using our breath. So each time you inhale, you rise. And each time you exhale, side stretch. But this is your breath. So don't worry about moving slower or faster than anybody else. Even if you want to use the breath differently, if you want to take 2 breaths for each pose so you're there longer, feel free to do so. Really beautiful. There's no rush, there's no hurry. We're bringing in the breath, we're bringing in the movement. We're starting to stoke our inner fires. And again, there's no rush. We're just gently blowing on embers. Really lovely. So no rush, but just the next time you come upright, let's pause here. Lovely. Let's just reach the arms tall for a moment. You can wiggle the hands and fingers if you like. Sorry, mine are out of view, but there's some wiggling going on there. And we're just going to bring the palms together. Bring the hands to heart center. Beautiful. Let's take a moment to bring this knee in, and we'll just release the arms. And if you want to give them a bit of a shimmy, a little bit of a wiggle, feel free to do so. A little freestyle wiggling, always good. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. If anyone's knees are just not happy kneeling, you can do this from a seated position. So you can be in an easy seat to just do a lovely side to side. So that's an option if you're just not happy kneeling, and that's no problem. If you are happy kneeling, we'll bring that leg out to the right. We'll rest the hand. We'll sweep the arm. And then we're just coming into the static version of the pose to start. So we're just giving ourselves a little time here. So we'll take a few lovely breaths here. Just excuse me for a moment while I bring the camera a little bit more upright, and then hopefully you can see me better. Don't mind me fussing around with the camera. Oh yes, lovely, you can see my hands. So as we rise, we'll take the big wide arms, and then we're going to take it over to the side plank. So we're holding these ones for a few breaths, just to give ourselves a chance to feel the pose, to feel the areas that it might engage or challenge. And that just helps prepare us when we're moving a little quicker, but not too quick. So once again, strong through the core, let's gently rise it up and wide. Lovely. So here we bring in the breath. So it's inhale for this lovely tall straight spine. Exhale for the beam. Inhale to rise. And exhale to that side. Beautiful. And again, you're moving at your own pace, and move as slowly as you like. The idea of moving with the breath is lovely, but you can move with the breath however you like. So if you find yourself doing the breath in reverse, so exhaling as you rise, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to take 2 breaths, that's lovely. There is no right or wrong way to connect to your body and your breath. You might feel that we're starting to warm up a little bit now. The word Beltane in English is translated as the good fires, the bright fires. And these are cleansing fires. Once upon a time, our rural ancestors would light fires to ward off all those witches and elves and fairies abroad in the season, but also to use the ashes to bless anything that was important to them. So homesteads and cattle, anything else we wished well with the bright fires. So as we create heat and fire within the body, we are perhaps creating our own little blessing, our own little healing for our own body this season. Next time you rise, we'll pause. So there's no rush, but just the next time you get here, we'll sweep the arms up, we'll bring the knee in, and we'll just bring the palms to heart center. We'll take a lovely breath. And we can just release the arms and take a little wiggle, a little shimmy. Beautiful work, everybody. So a little bit of sunbeam fires there. We'll come back to the earth now. So we're going to come into a wide knee child's pose. So we're going to take the knees nice and wide, big toes together to touch. We'll sink the bum back onto the heels. And then we're just going to reach the hands forward and rest the forehead upon the earth. Take your time. If you have a favorite style of child's pose, whether that's supported by cushions, or if you prefer to have your knees closer together, feel free to come into your favorite child's pose. Really beautiful work, everybody. Just gently building up a little warmth, a little fire, but also taking our time to connect to the earth as well. Change can always be disrupting. So as we change, as we move into a new season, as we change with various rules of being allowed out in the world again, we're taking our time to find our grounding and our roots so we can deal with this change, so we can feel grounded and calm, just like the tree, able to weather whatever the weather or the seasons throws our way. I'm just going to take a few more lovely breaths here. So take your time, finding that lovely place of settling. And then what we're going to do from our lovely child's pose is we're going to come up to tabletop once more. So we're going to come to all fours. And then from here, we're going to prepare for our downward facing dog. We're not going to do too many today, but for this one, we'll just take our time to really root our hands into the earth and spread the fingertips wide. So imagine you're trying to make two big paw prints on the earth. From here, we tuck the toes. We're going to lift the hips. We come into that lovely triangle, that pyramid of the down dog. And you can take a little pedaling movement here if you like. So a little softness in each knee, like a little stepping machine. Or if you prefer, you can be still. If you want to just have a little softness in the knees, feel free to do so. So this is really about taking our time to feel settled in this pose. There's always that joke in yoga classes that down dog is supposed to be a rest pose, and everyone has a little laugh because it sometimes feels a little more challenging than that. But we can move, we can wiggle, we can find softness. So it's really about finding the most easeful version of this pose for us. And combining that with that grounding to the earth with the hands and the feet, as well as the rising through tailbone. Again, that idea of the tree, of the rooting and the rising. Beautiful work, everybody. From here, what we'll do is we'll be really soft in the knees. We're going to walk the feet to the hands, so take your time. So we're going to find ourselves in a forward fold here. And you can be as soft in the knees as you like, so you can take the feet a little wide. You can be really soft in the knees to make this really easeful. And we're just letting the upper body hang heavy. So sometimes we call this the rag doll, because the upper body is really loose, really easeful. But the legs are strong and steady, keeping us supported. And you might want to give the head a little shake. You might want to give the arms a little sway. Or you might want to be perfectly still. Again, whatever feels nice for you. Remember that idea of the lovely deep bend in the knees that we did in that wide leg fold. If you want to have a deep bend here, you can even rest the elbows on the knees if you like, and let the head go. There's always variations to help us, to guide us. And then from here, with a little softness in the knees that's not there already, we're going to take an inhale. We're going to sweep the arms up to the sky. Beautiful. Let's reach the hands tall. If you feel lightheaded, give the legs a little wiggle. It'll just send a little extra blood around the body. So take a wiggle leg if you need to. We're reaching high. Breathe. If you want to reach a little higher, feel free to come up onto tippy toes, just if you want to. If anyone's got any issues with ankles, stay grounded, please. So this is just an option to rise a little higher if you wish. Breathe. Gorgeous. From here, let's lower the heels if we're on balance, and we'll let the arms go. Let's take a little roll, a little shake. And then if you like, we're gonna just take the feet about hip distance apart, and we're just gonna do a little turn here. So the arms are almost completely relaxed and just moving with the momentum of the core. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely. We don't often stand up in our practices. Usually we're very ground-based, so this is nice. Rising up, rising high. And then when you're ready, we're just going to bring the core to stillness, and the arms will just gently come to stillness as well. Beautiful. So what we're going to do while we're standing is we're going to do a very, very easeful section of sun salutations. Because the sun is rising, Beltane is here, so a little bit of sun salutation seems like a really good idea. But we're just going to do part of sun salutation. So we're not going to do the downward facing dog, and this just makes it a little more easeful, a little more accessible to everybody. But as always, take it slow, take it restful, pause if you need to. So what we'll do from our lovely standing point, we're in mountain pose, so feet are kind of hip distance apart. We're rising tall. Imagine that image of the tree once more. So we're rising through the body. I'm just going to be sideways, make it a little easier for you to see me. We'll just take a few breaths here, so not in any rush. We're finding our grounding. The ancient history of sun salutations is hotly debated, but I have no doubt that ancient Europeans honoured the sun in the morning in some way, even if it's not exactly as we do it now. Next time you inhale, let's sweep the arms high to the sky. And then as we exhale, we're just going to sink back into that forward fold. Beautiful. Let's place the hands on the shins. So as we inhale, we're coming into the tabletop of the forward fold. So extending flat through the spine. Imagine a cup of tea on your back. And then as we exhale, we're back into the forward fold. Beautiful. From here, all we do is we just inhale. We're going to rise up high to the sky once more. We're going to bring the palms together and exhale the hands to heart center in prayer. Beautiful. That's it. That's our half sun salutation. We're going to roll through a few more times. So we're going to inhale, arms high. We're going to exhale, forward fold. Inhale to that flat back, long through the spine. And exhale to release back into the forward fold. Let's inhale, rise high. Reaching tall. And then exhale the hands to heart center in prayer. Beautiful. We'll take a pause, a few breaths. As always with sun salutations, sometimes we get distracted by that idea of being perfectly in time with the breath or perfectly in time with someone else. Just remember that this is your rhythm and your pace, and it's more important to feel your own flow, your own rhythm, than it is to synchronize with anybody. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll through twice more. I'll just guide you through gently, but you can find your own pace. So let's inhale, rise. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rise to flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise high to reach. And exhale, hands to heart. Rolling straight through, we'll inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fall. Inhale, rise high. And exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful work, everybody. From here, we'll just let the hands fall in again, a little roll, a little shimmy if you like. Beautiful work. So just to bring us back down to the earth, everything will be ground-based after this. What we'll do is we're just going to inhale, sweep the arms high. We'll exhale to forward fold. And then from here, we're just going to come to our second downward facing dog and our last downward facing dog. So we're just going to walk the hands forward, maybe walk the feet back. And we're just going to come back to that down dog for a moment. And we're going to take a few easeful breaths. And then when you feel ready, softness in the knees, slow and steady. We're just going to bring the knees to the earth. We're going to untuck the toes. We're going to return to child's pose. So you can come to whatever child's pose you like. You can come to the wide knees. You can bring support in from the bolsters and cushions. Whatever you like. Beautiful work. We have someone joining us just now. They've missed the challenging bit. Wonderful, perfectly timed. Let's bring that focus back in. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome. If you've just joined us, we're just coming into child's pose. You can take your time just to settle into our lovely child's pose, a lovely restful place. This is also a moment of pause. So if during this time you'd like to get a drink or just take a moment, you can have a drink and then come back to child's pose, whatever feels right for you. Obviously, the invitation is always there that you can do as you please when it comes to drinks or pauses, but sometimes it's just good to have a reminder. So I'm going to take a drink as well. Lovely, lovely. And when you're ready, we'll just gently rise up through the torso. What we're going to do from here is we're going to come to seated. So we'll come to bum. We're going to sweep the legs around. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So you might know this as butterfly pose or cobbler's pose. Goddess pose is obviously my favorite name for this one, but whatever works for you. We're taking hold of feet, toes, ankles, whatever feels comfortable. We're tall through the torso. And then we're just opening through the hips to draw the knees downwards. So we're staying upright here. Sometimes we make this a fold. Today, we're just going to be seated. So we're drawing those knees down towards the earth. And we're just going to breathe here. Lovely, lovely. It's that lovely idea of drawing up, kindling, sparking a little fire, a little warmth within us. It's a lovely way to honor Bealtaine. But also this idea of opening, unraveling as we open through the hips, through the heart, through the shoulders. Bealtaine is drawn from a Celtic word, bee-el-tanna, and the ancient Celts would call it bee-el-tanna, and that word means closer to the idea of the opening of a season, the mouth of the season, as we open up into spring, as we unfurl into spring. So as well as this idea of the bright fires and the good fires, there's also this idea of a doorway, a threshold that we are meeting. So opening through the body, and in our own way is also a lovely way to harness a little of that energy, or to use the themes of the season to inspire our practice. So with the soles of the feet still together, what we're going to do is we're going to recline upon the earth here. So take your time, check you've got some space behind you. We're laying down upon the ground, so we've got the soles of the feet together, knees falling out. And then with the arms, you can do as you please. So you might want to take them out wide. You might want to rest them upon your body, so on the belly, on the heart. Or you might want to take them overhead so that they mirror the shape of your legs. Yogi's choice, whichever you prefer, whatever feels most restful for you. We're going to be here for a little while. If you find just letting the legs hang starts to feel a bit too much on the hips, then please do bring blocks or cushions underneath the knees. Or even if you wish, you can just bring the knees together with the soles of the feet on the floor to take a rest if you want to. So we're settling into this lovely reclining pose. And if you feel you want to close the eyes, you're very welcome to do so. Or it might be that your gaze wanders out of a window to see some blue sky, hopefully. And here again, just as we started, we can take some cleansing breaths if we wish. So we might take a nice inhale through the nose. And then sigh and exhale through the mouth. Remember, everyone is on mute, so make as much noise as you like. You can sigh, you can roar. If you've had a bit of a stressful week, feel free to make any noises that are cleansing for you. So you can take some groans or even some swear words if you like. So we're taking our time just to take this lovely passive opening of hips and heart, of releasing the breath. As we cross over the threshold into the month of May, is there anything we'd like just to sigh out, let go of? Anything we don't want to carry with us? It might be that this is an opportunity to let a few things go. Or it might just be a time to note the things we're going to work towards letting go of. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. Maybe it's just a setting of intention. And we're just going to take a peaceful minute with the breath in this place to be with that idea, to be with that energy of letting go. And then what we're going to do from here is we're just going to expand out upon the earth. So we're going to send the legs long along the ground and the arms long overhead. So you might be a long line upon the ground. You might want to spread out like a starfish, whatever you like. We're just taking up as much space as we possibly can. Beautiful. Just expanding, reaching, like a growing fire or growing flames. We're just finding expansion through the body. Beautiful. And then just when you feel ready, we're going to bring the arms alongside the body. And what we'll do here is we're going to take a minute as we cross over. Again, we're going to cross over into our time for meditation and Shavasana. Now we'll take just a kind of minute or two here. If you want to take a break, if you want to get a drink, if you want to nip to the loo or anything, feel free just to take this time to do whatever it is that you would like. We're going to be in meditation for kind of 20 minutes to half an hour. So bear that in mind. If you're somewhere where you might get chilly, maybe a warm jumper. I'm going to put my jumper on. And we'll just take our time. Directly after our meditation is when we're going to light our candles. So this is an opportunity, these few minutes here, if you want to get a candle of any kind, a lighting device of any kind, feel free to do that. But again, it is just a little something that we do which can be enjoyable. It is not essential. So candles nearby if you want them, but don't worry about it too much. So, no need to worry about anything too much in this practice. So you can do your meditation laying down, and traditionally our Shavasana is laying down. But if you prefer to be seated for meditation, of course you can do so. And you're welcome to change. You can start seated, you can journey to the earth later if you want to. It is absolutely up to you. So again, yogi's choice, whatever feels right for you today. In our guided meditation, we'll take some time in what I call story journey. So we'll journey to meet perhaps a few of those goddesses of Beltane and spring. Lovely, lovely. See everyone gathering beautiful blankets. I can see some delicious looking cups of tea and or coffee. Beautiful. It's always the best bit. It's always my favorite bit. So my darling ones, as you gather your blankets, your cushions, take your time. You can come to the place you'd like to be for your meditation. So whether that is seated, whether it's laying down, whether it's just somewhere you want to start and you can journey to somewhere else later, it is absolutely up to you. And I just invite you, when you're ready, to gently close the eyes. We start with the breath. And that's all meditation really is, to focus on one thing. And we so often use the breath or work in the breath because it is our constant companion. It's always with us. So it can help just to bring the awareness to the rise and fall of the breath. The rise and fall of your tummy and chest. As we bring our awareness, our intention to that rise and fall, as we draw our awareness inwards, we are drawing it gently away from everything outside of our body. So whether that's the sounds of traffic, whether it's a to-do list or an email that you have to send, whether it's plans for the week ahead. All the noise and the busyness of the world outside perhaps falls a little into soft focus. As we move through our days, our weeks, our seasons, we send out hundreds of beautiful golden threads of our attention, our time, our energy. And the world is blessed to have it. But here in this moment, we can begin to draw those threads in, reeling them in like a little fishing line. Taking this time as long as we need to draw those golden threads, to call them back home, so that the sole recipient of our love, our attention, our mindfulness is us and only us. This process is all part of a journey. It is inevitable that new ideas might pop into our minds, or we might throw out new threads to attend to sounds or distractions around us. It's a constantly evolving process, like that constant progress on the wheel of the year. Each time there's a new thought, a new distraction, we might just notice and let it go. As we journey into and with this idea of finding a little calm, a little sanctuary, a little quiet. And from this place of blissful calm, perhaps we may wish to journey with the mind's eye. And here, as we tip over into May, the season of light, perhaps we might begin by envisaging a place where we most enjoy to see that change of seasons. So you might perhaps see yourself, feel the soles of your feet upon soft green grass, or amongst wildflowers, meadowland. Perhaps on smooth rock of mountain or cliff top. Soft sand of a beach, or even the familiar earth of your own garden or a favorite park. You can take your time to envisage whatever beautiful place of nature calls to you right now. Feeling the earth, the ground beneath our feet. Maybe there is a gentle breeze that kisses our cheeks. Maybe the sun is shining. We might hear around us swaying trees, gentle waters, calling birds, we can use all the senses to allow ourselves to be in this beautiful place that means something to us. It would have been on a day like this, of growing light and hope and warmth, that long ago our ancestors would have seen the light as gifts from goddesses. So in this beautiful space, you may see or feel the idea of a goddess of spring. And you might simply see her in the beams of light, the swaying flowers, the feeling of warmth. Or you may wish to envisage the figure of a goddess, of a woman. It might be Roman goddess Flora, the goddess of blossoming flowers, festooned with blooms. It might be Celtic goddesses, Anya, Maeve, Bridget, Sulis, the goddesses of sparks and fire. It might be a goddess that you know, your ancestors, your heritage, or simply the image of a divine woman who embodies what May and spring and sunshine mean to you. Now these embodiments of light and sun, whether we see them as goddesses or energy or light, they guide us now kindly through this space. We walk, guided by goddesses, slow and unhurried upon a path. And on this path, we see a beautiful dancing bonfire. The good fires, the bright fires of the season. As we stand before these flames, we feel the warmth shine upon our hearts, our face, our tummies. We feel an encircling of the fire, whatever goddess figures, whatever light figures we have imagined, they circle the fire with us. Perhaps we feel a connection or hold hands to create a circle. We feel that warmth, the growing, the building of energy. But there's more. The goddesses smile as they take a step back to make space. And here in this circle, your own coven has arrived. Maybe in this circle of light and love, you see family members, friends, ancestors. You may have amongst you in this circle people who that you have never met but have inspired you. There might even be animals or mythical beings amongst the group. You are creating your circle of power. The people and the beings that help you feel strong, that bring you warmth, who support you in a myriad of ways. as you create this circle, hand in hand. Allow yourself to bask in warmth and light and hope. You might find yourself in this circle of love and light, laughing and smiling with the people around you, enjoying their company. And perhaps from this circle of power around the bonfire, you release hands and find yourself talking and laughing and hugging the people around you, feeling warmed and nourished from your experience and very joyful. And even if we cannot always be with these people that are here in this special place, we feel a connection with them here and we enjoy that moment to connect. And you find that those goddesses of light and of spring, with gentle smiles of kindness, have gently drifted back into space, gently drifted away. They know that you have all the divine people around you that you need, your own circles of family and friends, but they will continue to watch over you. And as the time comes for you, just for now, to leave your coven, to leave your circle of celebration, you may take any time you wish to say farewell, but also knowing that we can come back to this place, to these memories, to this empowerment whenever we wish. As the embers of the bonfire gently settle, glowing as the flames soften, the beautiful souls of this circle gently disperse. And as the witches of my home counties once said, merry meet, merry part. The circle is open, but never broken. And from this place, we journey back through the places of nature, the fields, the meadows, the beaches. And we find ourselves journeying all the way back to the place in which we now lay or sit. Once again, our mind's eye drawing back to our body, to our place, to the day. It might be, my darling ones, that the next inhale is a little longer, a little deeper than the last. You might wish to wiggle your fingers and toes. You might want to stretch or wiggle, making any luxurious movement as we begin to ever so gently and easily bring ourselves back to the room and back to the day. If you are laying upon the earth, I invite you with no rush to gently bend the knees and pop the soles of the feet on the floor. And you might want to just roll onto one side in that little yogi recovery pose, or any way you please. You can journey in whatever way feels right for you. So we can rest for a moment in that little recovery pose if we want to. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, we can all rise to an easy seat. If anyone is perfectly happy to stay laying down, please don't let me disturb you. You can be wherever you wish to be. And just easefully, with that idea of the light and the season, we're just going to carry a little of that energy as we take up our candle. If you want to, you can do this all in your mind's eye if you prefer. And we might take up our candle, and with that energy and joy that we created, that we felt within our mind's eye and our bodies and our hearts, we might just light our candle. You might see those dancing flames just as we saw them in our mind's eye. We can think of our loved ones, our inspirations, our own personal coven, whatever that may be for us. And if you wish to join me, there is a little blessing. I'll say it once first, and then we can say it all 3 times together. So a little blessing is simply heart to heart, flame to flame. So we can say that all together if we wish. Heart to heart, flame to flame. Heart to heart, flame to flame. Heart to heart, flame to flame. So we can keep the flame with us. If it's safe for you to place it down somewhere, you can place it down, or if you prefer, feel free to just blow it out now. So my darling ones, just to finish our practice today, we're just going to take a lovely inhale. We're going to sweep the arms high to the sky. We're going to reach up towards the sun and the season. Or bring the palms together. We're going to exhale, hands to heart, centering prayer. And here to ourselves and each other, we say namaste. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.